Hi everyone, in this video, I'll show you how to connect Google Drive to Linux using Rclone. Then, we'll mount a Google Drive folder as a local folder on Linux, allowing files to automatically synchronize between the server and Google Drive. First, connect to your server using SSH, or you can also work directly on the server itself. Next, we'll update the system repositories to make sure all installation packages are up to date. Next, let's install a few required tools to prepare for configuring Rclone and mounting Google Drive. Next, we'll install the latest version of Rclone using the official installation script from the Rclone website. Now wait for the Rclone download and installation process to complete. This may take a few seconds, depending on your internet connection speed. When you see a message like this, it means Rclone has been successfully installed on your server. Rclone is now ready. Next, we'll configure Rclone to connect with Google Drive. At this step, enter N to create a new Google Drive connection for Rclone. Next, enter a name for this connection. It's recommended to choose an easy-to-remember name since we'll use it again in the next configuration steps. Rclone supports many different types of connections. In this video, we'll connect to Google Drive, so make sure to find and select the correct Google Drive option from the list. So here, I'll enter 24. However, this number may be different depending on the Rclone version you are using. Next, for the Client ID section, simply leave it blank by pressing Enter. Similarly, for the Client Secret section, simply leave it blank and press Enter. Next, depending on your needs, you can choose the appropriate access permission for Google Drive. Option 1 grants full access to Rclone. 2 allows read-only access. 3 only allows access to files created by Rclone. 4 is used for the application data folder, and 5 only allows reading file metadata. In this video, I'll choose option 1 to grant full access to Rclone. Next, for the Service Account File section, you can leave it blank by pressing Enter. Next, the system will ask whether you want to continue with the advanced configuration setup. Select No to continue. Next, select N so we can perform the activation process manually in the next steps. At this step, Rclone requires us to perform authentication through a web browser on another device or on the current machine. So in this case, we will download and install Rclone on the current computer to make the Google Drive authentication process easier. Now, we will visit the official Rclone website to download the installer. Choose the Rclone version that matches your operating system. In this case, I will download the Windows version. Once the download is complete, extract the Rclone archive that you just downloaded. Here, right-click on an empty area inside the Rclone folder, then open a terminal or command prompt window. After that, return to the SSH window where we were previously configuring Rclone. At this step, copy the entire Rclone authorize command provided by Rclone. You can use the Shift plus Control plus C keyboard shortcut to copy the content from the terminal window. Once copied, we will return to the terminal window on the Windows machine to execute this authentication command. After that, the system will automatically open a web browser and ask you to sign in to the Google account that you want to connect with Rclone. If you see a message like this, it means the authentication process was successful. Now, copy the token generated by Rclone in the terminal window. Next, we will paste this token back into the Rclone configuration session on the server to complete the Google Drive authentication process. Next, select No to avoid using shared drive mode. Next, select Yes to save the Rclone configuration that we just created. Finally, type Q to exit the Rclone configuration wizard. At this point, the setup and Google Drive connection process with Rclone is complete. As you can see here, my Google Drive currently contains 3 folders. Now, we will verify whether Rclone can successfully connect to and read data from Google Drive by listing the existing folders on the drive. Here, this is the connection name that you defined in the previous configuration steps. If the connection is successful, the list of folders on Google Drive will be displayed directly in the terminal window like this. Now, let's go through a real example. In this example, we will configure synchronization between the gd_backup folder on Google Drive and the sv_backup folder on the server. The goal is that whenever data on the server is updated, we can easily synchronize or back up the data to Google Drive using Rclone, and vice versa. First, we will create a new folder on Google Drive named gd_backup. This folder will be used to store backup or synchronize data from the server through Rclone. Next, we will create a folder on the server named sv_backup. This folder will contain the data that we want to synchronize or back up to Google Drive using Rclone. Next, we will create a service so Rclone can automatically synchronize data between the server and Google Drive, even after the system restarts. For the service name, choose something easy to remember so it will be easier to manage later. Next, we will add the configuration content that I have already prepared here so the service can automatically perform synchronization between the server and Google Drive using Rclone. In this section, replace the Rclone connection name, the Google Drive folder name, and the server folder name with your own corresponding values in the configuration. After that, copy the entire configuration content and paste it into the service file that we created in the previous step. After that, save the configuration file and exit the editor. Now, reload the service management system so Linux can detect and update the service file that we just created. After that, we will enable and start the Rclone synchronization service. Next, check the service status to confirm that the Rclone service is running properly. If everything is configured correctly, you should see the service in an active state and the synchronization process ready to operate. Now, move into the backup folder on the server to verify the synchronization process. Next, try creating any file inside the backup folder on your server. After that, we will check whether this file is automatically uploaded to Google Drive through Rclone. Now, try uploading any file to the gd_backup folder on Google Drive to test the reverse synchronization process from Google Drive back to the server. If the file is large, the synchronization process may take a bit more time depending on your network speed and the server performance. Okay, so we have successfully completed the data synchronization setup between the server and Google Drive using Rclone. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for watching and see you again in the next videos.